Coming up on tonight's broadcast, we'll talk about some new comics, returning comics, end of story arcs, as well as some comics that I'm feeling just pretty lukewarm about these days. Welcome to tonight's broadcast. See what I did there. So this is the first of 2016 regular comic videos that I'm doing, and by regular we mean as often to weekly as I can manage. Sometimes I will talk about the comics for the week like I'm doing tonight, and sometimes I might just do a graphic novel spotlight or, talk about a few things I've been really excited about coming up, just kind of maybe whatever I'm feeling or have time and motivation for at the moment. Tonight, a big part of it is that I get a little bit of a complex as I fall behind on comics, and I'm like, I can't let people know that I'm not reading this. I feel so guilty. But I'm actually going to embrace that. We're going to talk about comics that I've read, and then I'm going to follow up telling you about the stuff that I picked up that I am falling behind on, and you guys can shame me thoroughly, and then I'll be a better person and read it. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so first up, let's talk about some comics I have been reading. This is Ms. Marvel number 3, as I'm sure you can see. I have been really digging this book, as this is the number 3, so recently they renumbered it. It's not so much a reboot, it is a fresh jumping on point if you want it, but it is a continuation of the story before, with the addition that Ms. Marvel, Kamala, is now an Avenger and is having a really hard time balancing that and her normal day-to-day life, as her hero status is maybe growing faster and more unpredictably than she can. She's still just a girl from New Jersey, and suddenly she is this image that is much bigger than herself, as, she's an Avenger now, and that's a lot to deal with. I really, really enjoy this comic, as those of you who have tuned in times past know. This book is just, it's fun, it gets teens much more honestly than most stories do, it seems, and this is a comic that gets people excited about reading comics, and a lot of people who haven't maybe been comic readers before, and that is a blessing, and that is an awesome thing that I think is an incredible thing for a comic to do, is get people who aren't into comics into comics. So I hail this book for that. Yay, book. So I was really excited and really surprised to see coming up this week a return of a book I have not seen in a very long time, and that is Eric Stevenson's Nowhere Men. This book was coming out, I think last was out in October of 2013, so we've been waiting, a couple years for this guy. There is, as you will notice for those of you who were reading it previously, there is a different artist, and I think that's part of the big reason for it taking so long as it was getting to this point, but they have assured us that this is only coming out because there are a few other issues ready to go, and they're going to come out in a timely fashion, at least for the time, which is great. For those of you who don't know what this book is, this is a book, Nowhere Men. It followed 4 scientists. Imagine scientists who were the Beatles. They're the rock stars of their times. People think they're sexy. They're on all the newspaper articles. They're in the Times Magazine, the Rolling Stone. Everybody loves these people, and they have like celebrity awesome status. But they're also scientists, and maybe don't always have, they maybe make some crazy decisions, like, there's a lot of fallout to their stuff, but, so it features articles from them when they were younger and hot and young and hip, but now these scientists are older, and the world is having to live with the repercussions of their decisions and some of the disastrous fallout, and it's very cool, it's really good. I suggest if you haven't checked it out, maybe now that it is coming out, give it a visit. It's a really cool thing. And then if you have been reading it, then hey, look what's back! Check it out, don't forget about it. It's still a great book, and for those of you who have read it, I did not actually go back and reread it prior to this issue coming out. I should have, but the issue does a really good job of kind of catching you back up as you read through it, so I kind of was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember where we're at. So don't stress if you can't find it in your short boxes, and it's, you just haven't gotten a chance to reread it, you can still just jump in and dig in and enjoy. Awesome. And another thing that I'm very excited to welcome back, although it hasn't been away for quite as long, we have issue 4 of The Legacy of Blue Thirst Road. You guys know I love these books. They're awesome. They're exciting. There's super, super gruesomely impressive, like, violence, but there's also charming love and humor, and there's one I really wanted to show you guys if I could find it, just because, Tradmore and Ryan Otley are some of my favorites for just absurd, ridiculous, awesome violence. Nah, I can't find it, of course. I'll give it 5. Oh, here we are. Okay, let's see if I can do this without giving you guys any information away. So, this right here, and that's a guy getting sliced his face in half. Woo. Sorry, comics, I didn't mean to hurt you. One day I'll actually edit my videos. I'll be a better person. She says always and never does anything about it. But, so, Luther's Dread. There's only 2 more issues out after this, and this is supposed to be the last of the Luther Strode stories. So for those of you who haven't read any of it, it's about, you know, a wimpy nerd who discovers a manual to get superhuman-like strength and powers, but it's actually, the manual is from, like, like a 1,000-year-old death cult, and it's super creepy, and this story here is actually starting to go more into the backstory of that particular cult in previous stories. It has just kind of gradually led you into there, and things are getting crazy. Things are always crazy. There's not an issue of this that is not just like, oh my gosh. So definitely check it out. Strange Talon of Luther Strode is the first of the 3. Some of the best $10 you'll spend on a volume 1. Lots of fun. So this is a new one, and this is from a new publisher called AfterShock. They've put out a few things. They've put out Insects, maybe 1 or 2 others. They're a new publisher that has been getting a lot of attention recently because they're getting crazy big names, and they seem to know what's going on here. This one is from Brian Azzarello and Juan Doe, who my husband says is really cool. I haven't really seen anything from him before this, but his art is absolutely insane. It's like perfect, like pulp horror animation style. It's very, very cool. This is a very, very dark, very gritty, violent comic. If that doesn't sound like you, this is not for you, but it's very cool. It's very, this first issue kind of focuses on a couple different characters, so I'm not super sure of the overall big story that they have going, but the character development in this first one is really messed up, but very compelling and interesting. So very gorgeous art, very creepy, but definitely give it a read if that is up your alley, and I heavily enjoyed it. So this Tokyo Ghost here, one of 2 covers. I love the little, is it a fox? Is it a, I don't know, whatever it's called. Mink? It's not a fox. I'm rambling. Ignore me. This is one of my new favorites by some of my favorite creators, Rick Remender and Sean Murphy. This is the end of the first story arc. So if you guys have been looking for a time to pick this up and haven't wanted to because it's been coming out in single issues, the trade should be coming out soon. Otherwise, now is a great time to pick up those, scoop up those single issues. I talked about it a little bit in my last video, my best of 2015. So check that out if you want more details. I'm running out of video space, so I don't want to go too far. And then we have just a charming, fun one, new Adventure Time miniseries. This is Ice King's feature, and this focuses on in issue 1, he wakes up and Gunter is missing, and of course Ice King is inconsolable without Gunter, so now he has to quest all of Ooh to find him, and it's Gunter's my favorite Adventure Time character, and I love Ice King, so it's just a fun, joyful adventure. Read it with your kids, read it with yourself, whatever. It's a happy, good time. So, earlier I talked about things that I feel kind of lukewarm about, and sadly to say, that is one of my previously favorite comics, Batgirl. As you guys may know, I don't read much DC these days. I'm behind on Batman. That's what I feel really guilty about because that one's amazing. But I have always loved Batgirl, and I've picked it up, and I do like the creators who are working on this current arc, but it's just not doing it for me personally. It just, the story isn't, I don't know, it feels a little superficial, and has some like redundant story points. I don't know. I feel bad and I feel guilty saying that because I love Batgirl, but I also don't like how they wrote Stephanie Brown in this issue. Kind of made her seem kind of dumb and helpless. But couple things I didn't read as I'm running out of time: new Poison Ivy, Batman, and Robin, and Lumberjanes. That's it for me, and guilt me about the things I haven't read. Have a good week. I'm out of video. Until next time.